Hey guys, we are here today in Valheim, and we're going to go over some basics in roofing to kind of get you an understanding of how the different pieces operate and what they're good to be used for. This will not be a guide on how to build any one particular thing, but hopefully it will give you an understanding of how the roof pieces work so you can combine them and build whatever it is you would like. For starters, you are given 4 different types of roof pieces: the standard thatch roof, the thatch roof ridge, the thatch roof outside corner, and the thatch roof inside corner. And you are given these 4 pieces in a 45 degree and a 26 degree variant. You are also given 26 degree and 45 degree wood beams and a 45 degree and 26 degree wood roof cross to match the corresponding beams. You can see here that the 26 degree and the 45 degree roof pieces are obviously at different angles. The 45 degree will hit the same height as the 26 degree piece in half the overall distance. In other words, the 26 degree roof pieces will need to go twice the distance horizontally to meet the same distance vertically as a 45 degree piece. So if you want large and high vaulted ceilings, go for the 45 degrees, and if you'd like a steady and gentle slope, go for the 26. Personally, I would suggest on any standard building, go for the 26 degrees since you are able to stand and walk on it, making it easier to build chimneys or expand the roof. Whereas on 45 degree pieces, your character will have trouble staying up there unless you catch the right spot and will slide down most of the pieces, making it much more difficult to work on the building. Unless of course you just need to use 45 for whatever you're building. Just like its name suggests, the thatch roof inside corner piece needs to be used on inside corners inside of buildings, allowing it to come up and meet on both sides with a corresponding thatch roof piece. And then obviously the outside corner piece will go on any outside corner of a roof and meet up the same way with the corresponding roof pieces. The inside corner pieces are also needed to match up any 2 sections of house that are going in opposite directions, allowing you to create intersections and make T formations or cross formations in a building. As you're building any roof, you will either have an even number of tiles on the ground or an uneven number. Any even number of tiles will meet up with just standard roof pieces and create a peak. Any floor design with an odd number of tiles will require the roof ridge piece to line up between all the roof pieces to create your peak. Which means at one point or another, if you are using roof ridge pieces and try and create intersection, you will have this strange looking intersection here where everything doesn't exactly line up. The way to fix and adjust this is to use a horizontal wood beam and aim at the roof ridge opposite side of you and place the beam where it needs to go to bridge the gap, and it will not snap into place, so you will have to aim it and potentially readjust it to get it to look right. In order to design circular buildings, you will place wall panels or wood beams and rotate them 1 click in every time you place one. And to roof these, it will follow the same rules, following along those walls, rotating 1 click every time you place a new roof. In order to build a circular building, you will only use the standard thatch roof piece and won't be using any inside or outside corners. As you progress higher in a circular building, it will be harder and harder to land on the right snap-in spot, and oftentimes it will push it out, so make sure that you are landing on the correct roof tile every time you place. Anytime you build a circular hut or building, there are no ridge caps for it, so you will inevitably end up with a small opening at the very top, which can be helpful to vent out smoke, but cannot be closed up or protected from the rain, at least not well, since everything you place on there will be in a square format and won't look proper. There is going to be some limits on how high you can effectively build in a circular pattern, given that at some point the roof pieces will start clipping through each other and start to look fairly ragged. In order to build higher in any of these non-square patterns, it is more effective to build in hexagons or octagons, meaning your walls need to be rotated at least 2 clicks and most likely extended wider than 1 wall panel, given that 1 wall panel would make the room too tight. As you design anything in a hexagon or octagon and snap-on roofs, you will notice that the first row of roofing goes on without any problems or clipping issues. But as you progress further from there, the clipping becomes very apparent and makes the roof pretty much unusable. There is no set method to prevent this problem, however, there are a few things that you can experiment with. On one hand, you can place the first row that looks just fine on an octagonal building, and then on the second row, use the wood beams at the proper angle to fill in gaps and make it look like skylights or windows, allowing you to move up to higher rows. Or instead of doing the entire first row in thatch roof pieces, you can do wall sections, allowing one section to be thatch roof piece and then the other section use the wood beams again to create interesting patterns and window openings on that entire section of wall, allowing them to slowly meet up with the roof on either side. Now the angled wood beams have uses outside of being skylights or windows. However, if you were thinking they could be used to increase stability, oftentimes this does not work. Valheim's stability system is indicated by colors, with blue being foundational pieces touching the ground or having full strength, and then slowly moving through greens, yellows and oranges and reds, indicating how weak the piece is and how much more it can handle. If you try to attach a piece to a dark red piece of building, the game will go through a check, find out that it is not strong enough, and then break. And you can see here on one side I have roof pieces by themselves, going through that color system, and then on the other side I have them supported with angled beams, going through the same colors without any increased stability. So you are not going to get better stability by adding angled pieces to a roof. You're only going to achieve this by most often adding vertical poles into the center of a room and increasing that section's stability. You can increase a roof stability moderately with the standard wood pieces. You can increase it a little bit better with the log poles from core wood, and you can increase it to incredible heights with the wood iron beams. Both of the latter options obviously require a little bit more progression in the game. Now the angled wood beams are not all useless, even though they don't add much stability. They are great for the appearance of a building, taking it from just the standard wood thatch roofing and placing them inside the seams along with the wood roof crosses to give the house a better aesthetic look. And if you were trying to make a standard Viking longhouse look, you can extend them off the sides to the ground to create some very nice and interesting looking builds. And additionally, the angled roof beams can be used as a guide. You can see here, to attach to a wall and extend up, you have to aim roughly at the top of the thatch roof piece or it will not snap. And the higher we get, the harder this becomes, especially when you're building 2 or 3 story high buildings and don't have much room to walk around. Alternatively, if you place wood beams first, you can look at the side of the wood beam and be able to place much faster and easier along that grid, giving yourself something to aim at. This can be especially useful for the circular building designs we talked about earlier, or even the octagonal ones. Placing yourself angled roof pieces coming off of 4 flat sides of it gives you a grid to snap to, instead of having to try and place each one right next to the other circular piece. And you go straight up each of those grids, and then to fill in the gaps between, you just place in the center one, 2 spaces up, and fill in the small slivers with just 1 piece, as opposed to trying to go around in a circle on the entire thing. Not to mention, the wood beams look very nice from the inside as well. As you can see here, we have 2 pieces without any wood beam between them, and then we have a wood beam right here, giving it kind of a truss look and matching it up with the center beam on the ridge pieces. You're able to make many different roof designs by using these 4 pieces in their proper manner. Excluding octagonal or circular designs which require a little more intricate work, there are many roof designs that you've no doubt seen in real life that can be replicated in the game. Like right here, we have the hip roof design, achieved by simply using the corner thatch roof pieces and the basic pieces. This design is achieved by placing corner pieces on top of each other, moving up to the peak, and filling in the gaps with your standard roof pieces. The other incredibly common house design that you've no doubt seen is the standard gable roof. This is achieved by not using any of the outside corner pieces and just using your standard roof slats all the way up to the peak, and then filling in the front wall and the back wall with the angled wall pieces. The third most common design is typically used in real life on barns and outdoor sheds, and it is called the Gambrel Roof. This roof can be achieved by using 45-degree pieces and then transitioning to 26-degree pieces at the appropriate heights, giving you a slight curve that almost seems rounded. 2 of the less common variants, but still easily achievable in the game, are the Dutch gable which can be acquired by inverting the Gambrel Roof and using 26-degree pieces, and then transitioning up to 45-degree pieces at the higher parts, creating a steeple-like look, often seen on churches. And the other variant of the Dutch gable is to use 26-degree outside corner pieces on the first row, and then transition up to the 45-degree, creating a slight indent on the elevated part of the roof. And the fifth and final roofing style we are going to touch in this video is the Clerestory roof, something often seen in fancy buildings where they add high windows in the building on elevated levels. This roof can be achieved by adding 45 or 26-degree pieces to your roof, transitioning into half or full walls, and you can design your own windows on those if you so choose, and then transitioning back to roof pieces to create that kind of staircase look. And the other variants of the Clerestory roofing, like this here, can be achieved by taking one style of roofing all the way across the entire house and transitioning down the other direction at the exterior wall one level lower. And then you can fill in the one drop gap with either half walls or cross beams to again create window looks, giving a very strange looking, albeit kinda neat looking house. In the end, the standard thatch roof piece is going to be used most commonly, and in all honesty you could probably progress through the entire game without ever using the outside corner if you never opt to do a hip roof style, and you may never actually use the inside corner if you don't ever make any intersections in your house. All in all, there's really no right or wrong way to do the roof or design your roof in this game. They give you these pieces and allow them to be put together in different ways to kind of create whatever designs you'd like. Hopefully this video gave you a better understanding of how the roof pieces work and their design functions, so you can build and design whatever buildings you would actually like to make. If you see inspiration of something in a picture or in the real world, most likely it can be built in the game, with a little bit of effort and trial and error. And a lot of the best ideas and designs probably haven't even been seen yet, like the most efficient way to make skylights or roofs or to match up an octagonal and circular roof at higher heights. So who knows, you might be the one to figure those things out. I appreciate you guys joining me for this installment of Building for Squares, but I gotta head out and disassemble this house graveyard. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.